Parents, what's up? Sometimes parents make a big mistake when it comes to detachment, when it comes to letting go, when it comes to not enabling your child. So what happens here, parents, is that a lot of times parents are trying to save or rescue or help their child, but it is counterproductive. It is not doing what you're doing. Your child is not learning the lesson that you are trying to teach. You're trying to use punishments or rewards or rationalizing or logic or helping them see the light or convincing them or lecturing them. You're trying to communicate to your child, hey, kiddo, if you would just do X, Y, and Z, you would have better results. And you're trying to get your kid to see this through these methods, and it's not working yet. Parents persist in doing this over and over and over for months or years. And what parents are trying to do is they're trying to transfer ownership. What's up, everybody? My name is Seth Perler, SethPerler.com. I'm an executive function coach in Colorado. And I help struggling students navigate this thing called education. In this video for you parents, I'm going to talk a little bit about detachment, letting go, and transferring ownership. So for a lot of you parents, you struggle with that you are the one who has the buy-in for what your child needs to do. You are the one who is taking ownership for them, for they're not motivated, so you are trying to motivate them as an external force. You are trying to motivate them. You are being their executive function. You are being the responsible party for them. You are picking up the slack when they struggle. You are preventing them from falling. So your dance a lot of times is, how does the parent transfer ownership? How do you as the parent who is taking ownership over your child? First, you have this young child, you have an infant. You have to take care of your infant 100%. They need you. But as your kid gets more and more and more and more independent and more mature and gets more into adolescence and they want more and more independence, your objective is, hey, kiddo, I want you to be independent. I want you to be happy, successful, healthy. I want you to be in control of your life. And I want you to be able to be an adult in this world and have a fantastic future. But you're watching and you're seeing that it's not happening how you think it should. And you might be right about that. But the question isn't, are you right about that or not? The question is what you are doing to transfer ownership to your child working? You have the buy-in. Yeah, my kid needs this. I know they need this to have a good life. You take the ownership. Yep, I know my kid's going to need to get this done, going to need to apply for colleges, or going to need to apply for jobs, or going to need to do the homework, or going to need to advocate with teachers. You are the one who is taking ownership because you see from a mature perspective, yeah, my kid needs this. Your kid doesn't see that yet. So then the question is, how do we transfer ownership? And when a kid struggles with executive function, it's particularly difficult because you're watching your child and you see it right in front of your eyes. You know what your child's going to say to you, how they're going to be resistant. You know their games. You know your own games. But you're watching your child and you're like, man, if my kid doesn't figure this out, there's going to be problems. So you feel this anxiety and you're like, I need to help them figure this out. And again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to transfer ownership. Think about transferring ownership of a car. You have a used car, you want to sell it, you put it for sale, somebody comes over, they're like, yeah, I'll buy it. You go to a notary, they pay you. You go through this process of transferring ownership. That's very concrete. This is not that. This is transferring ownership where you want the same result, whereas with a car, when the new person has ownership, if they get in an accident, that's their problem. They take care of that. If it runs out of gas, that's their problem. If the insurance isn't paid, that's their problem. They have taken full ownership. You have no responsibility. But in this, so you want your child to take full ownership of their life, but it's not black and white like that. It's very messy. And you watch them and you know that there are going to be consequences. If they do not do X, Y, and Z, there are going to be consequences. They'll get fired. They'll have fines. They'll have relationship problems. They'll have career problems. They'll have financial problems. You see the future. You have the wisdom, the maturity, and the life experience to see that. They don't see that yet. So how do you transfer that ownership? when everything in you wants to hold on and save them and rescue them and enable them. Enabling in this context is not a good thing. Enabling in this context means that you are enabling somebody to continue doing behaviors that are self-defeating, that are not helpful to their life. So you want to detach, you want to let go, but you don't want to completely let go and watch their whole life fall apart. You want to let go in a way that's safe. So I am not suggesting parents that this is easy. But what I am suggesting is this. You as the parent can keep your focus on what we're trying to do here. It is not fixing every problem, rescuing every problem, being their executive function. Your objective at this moment, during this chapter, I should say, not at this moment, during this chapter, your objective is not to fix every detail, is not to prevent them from failing in certain areas. Your objective is to transfer ownership. So that's what I'm going to leave you with here. As you leave this video, I want you to jot down on a piece of paper or a note card or something, put it up on the refrigerator or somewhere where you can remember that your objective is to transfer ownership. The reason I tell you this is because that way you can filter your actions, your behaviors, the conversations you have with your child, the lectures you were tempted to have with your child, the way you try to rationalize with your child, the way you try to show them the light, the way you try to punish them or reward them, to convince them to be motivated, the way you default. Your nervous system is watching them and you want to help them. The way your brain has chosen to go to certain defaults to help them that are not working. I want you to leave this video and have a way to filter those defaults so that you can pause in the moment and you can say, whoa, is what I'm about to say to my child going to help with transferring ownership? Is the consequence that I'm going to impose on my child, or the reward or the punishment, or the way I'm trying to motivate them, or the logic I'm trying to get them to see the light with, is that going to help my objective of transferring ownership? Because quite often, your lectures, your rationalizing, your logic, don't you just see, if you would just do it this way, your life would be so much easier. Why can't you just do X, Y, and Z? No, I'm telling you, you need to go talk to the teacher. No, I'm telling you, you need to just check your work. No, is that working? So I want you to have a filter. A very simple filter to be able to ask yourself, is that working? Are my efforts at getting them to take ownership for their life working? Are they creating the desired result? Or are they creating resentment, more distance from your child, more battles with your child? Are they holding them back? And I get it, parents, this is hard. It's really hard to watch when you see that they could just do X, Y, and Z to make their life so much easier, or that if they don't do X, Y, and Z, it's going to make their life so much harder. You see it so clearly, but they can't yet. But you got to ask yourself, is what I'm doing helping achieve this goal? So finally, to wrap up again, to reiterate, I know this has been kind of a vague description of what I'm trying to communicate, but hopefully I'm communicating this to you and leaving you with something concrete. The concrete question that you can use as a filter to check yourself and see if you're doing what you really want to be doing is this. What are my efforts right now at helping my child to take over the ownership for their life, or are they holding them back? And I hope that filter will help you to reframe some of the conversations that you're having and some of your efforts so that you can ultimately do what you really want, which is to help your child launch a happy, healthy, and successful future with the executive function they need so that they can go for their hopes and dreams and have a fantastic life in the future while having a great life now. My name is Seth with SethPerler.com. I'm an executive function coach in Colorado. If you haven't signed up, I got some good stuff on my site for free. I send out an update every week. I make videos for you. It is packed with solutions to help you and your children. Have a great day.